Well, for the next 3 races, the NARC 410 Sprint Car Series is going to be hanging out in the cooler weather on the California coast. And to kick things off, on Saturday, July 6th, Petaluma Speedway, their lone visit with the series, will be hosting the inaugural David Lindt Jr. Memorial. We've got a great group of guests coming to talk about it, so we'll get into the interviews. But before we get to the interview, make sure wherever you're listening or watching from, you hit the like button and subscribe so that you don't miss out on future episodes. Well, Jim Allen, Petaluma Speedway kicks off, I guess, the cool part of the NARC 410 series, not as far as like fashionable and everything, but as far as weather. I mean, things are heating up with some triple-digit weather at some places in the state of California. But these next 3 races, they're on the gorgeous and scenic coast. Should be a great time for folks to come out and watch some great sprint car racing.
Absolutely. And in reality, that was in the equation when we negotiated the schedule anyway. I mean, in the olden days, we used to have a Pombo Sargent Classic in Hanford on like July 22nd and 23rd. And it was so hot, but fans came out and race car drivers survived in their fire suits and fireproof underwear, just sweating like dogs out there. And I don't know, I think the world has changed a little bit, but, during the month of July, we get to go to, Petaluma, Watsonville, and Santa Maria. I mean, if that doesn't float your boat, nothing ever will.
Yes, and Petaluma, just one date in 2024, but the fact that Petaluma is still on the schedule, it can't be overstated enough that's great news, because last year it was, it was kind of looking like it was going to be no more Petaluma Speedway, but fortunately they were able to negotiate a multi-year deal.
Absolutely, yeah. It's been an embattled racetrack like many racetracks in California, and I'm not really sure all the details that happen behind the scene, but I keep hearing that they're safe for 3 years. I think Rick Faith answers directly to the city council now, and I think that the politicians there are starting to see the value in actually having a quality racing program going at the fairgrounds that's generating revenue, which they so badly need.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, let's talk about this points race. I mean, holy smokes! Just when you think anything is guaranteed, it's crazy and wild, because we've had the same point leader for the whole season with Cole Macedo. And just when it seems like he bounces back a little bit ahead of Justin Sanders, Sanders just takes a swat at him, so to speak. And, I mean, it is tight. It is tight going into the Lindt Memorial.
Absolutely. I mean, we're down to a single point after, 15 races. I mean, who would have thought that was even going to be in play? And, we've had that many races. Cole's got his 3 wins. Justin Sanders has his 4. I see Cole has 11 top 5s. Justin has 12 top 5s. And, one thing about Justin Sanders, he is not going to ever go away, man. He is one competitive individual, not to take anything away from Cole Macedo, because so is he. And here we go. We've got an excellent points chase, and that'll keep the world buzzing for until we get to Stockton in November 2nd.
Well, what I'm really looking forward to see is how this plays out with Macedo never starting a NARC race at Petaluma. And that's not to say that he's not going to do that he's going to do bad, or that I'm not saying that he's also going to win either. I think it's just going to show his adaptability with all the different racetracks he's been racing, obviously with NARC, but also along the lines with the Outlaws and with the High Limit Series. It's really going to put that a bit to the test.
Yeah, I mean, he's been racing around the country for a while, and, there's always a first time at every racetrack. And I think it really comes down to what your relationship is with the car owner and the crew chief, and being able to communicate that information back and forth so they can give you the right car for the right track. And, I mean, if anybody has been in the pit area and seen the conversations that go on between Cole Macedo and Drew Warner on the Charlton car, I guarantee they're not missing anything. I mean, give him a couple hot laps on there, and I think they'll have it figured out in no time, similar to what he's done at the Stockton dirt track this year. I mean, he just showed up and, ended up winning a race there. And, guess what? He had no experience. But once again, it's a team sport, and they do very well at it.
Well, we've talked a lot throughout the year about obviously the championship points race for the King of the West title and also the Rookie of the Year race between Gage Garcia and Caden Steele. But is it safe to say that Dominic Gordon is kind of having a resurgence here in this second half of the season where he may possibly, with a couple other good positive finishes, be in the running to be Rookie of the Year this year?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it is so, I don't know if it's strange or whatever. I mean, it was just, I'm looking at his finishes right now, 20, 12, 14. There was an 8th in Stockton, 21st, 12, 19, 13th. And then all of a sudden, he is just, you can see a instant improvement from about the time we got to Willamette Speedway. He got a 7th, a 10th, 11th. Then he got the big win at the Super Dirt Cup. And then he got an 8th at the finale, and he got a 2nd at Chico. I mean, and he got around Comestito like he was, a Bud Kading or somebody who's been doing this for a substantial amount of time. He's currently 9th in points, so he's kind of in the catch-up mode with everybody else. But, you got Caden Steele, who's sitting in 4th, Gage Garcia, who's sitting in 7th, and Dominic Gordon, who's sitting in 9th. And collectively, they're about less than 60 points apart. With this much time left to race in the season, anything is possible.
Absolutely. And that's not to take away Steele and Garcia. They're hungry coyotes on the plains there, and they are looking for their first NARC win. And it very well could happen at Ocean next week, or it could happen at Petaluma this week.
Absolutely, yeah. Caden Steele, I guarantee, I guess I can't actually guarantee it. I mean, whatever. Every time I guarantee something that costs me money, let's go. I would be dramatically surprised if Caden Steele does not pull off a feature event victory between now and the end of the season. And, when you get these heavier tracks, typically on the coast, I mean, it comes down, you get a starting position, and if you get out front, you've got a real good chance. So, I mean, I think, Caden and Gage just need a little break, and we'll see those guys standing in victory lane real soon.
Well, and going back to this race that's happening this Saturday, David Lindt Memorial, paying tribute to a local icon to the Sonoma County Petaluma Speedway area, and it's really cool for Petaluma Speedway to put this together, and a really good payday at that too.
Exactly, $5,200 to win. That is a great way to start the inaugural Dave Lindt Memorial. Yeah, as you said, he's a legend in that area. He's been in victory lane many a times. He had a persona off the racetrack, well, for that matter, on the racetrack, that many relate to somebody like Gary Patterson. And, if you were a friend of his, he called you heavy metal. And whatever, just a great guy. And, the event might actually be a couple of years overdue, but, Rick Faith, the promoter of Petaluma, decided it was time to make it happen, and let's see how the dogfight turns out to be for that 30-lapper for the big money.
Awesome. Well, can't wait to see how it unfolds, and I'm sure there's a lot of race fans that are excited to see what's going to happen come Saturday night.
Absolutely. So Petaluma Speedway is the place to be on Saturday, and it's guaranteed it's going to be a lot cooler there than it's going to be in the rest of California.
Well, talking to longtime announcer at Petaluma Speedway, Ron Lingron. Ron, the David Lindt Memorial, this is something near and dear to your heart. This is something near and dear to Petaluma Speedway's heart, and it's super cool that it involves the NARC 410 Sprint Car Series.
Well, absolutely it is, Ben. Dave Lint just simply was a Petaluma Speedway legend. The legend is at Petaluma Speedway, not much around other tracks, but locally, there was probably no more popular driver than Dave Lint. He started off, I believe, way back when in a modified, went to the sprint car, then he went back to a late model, then he went back to a sprint car. He was just everywhere on the map. And at the end of it all, he passed away at the age of 44 years old, which is tragic. And he was the all-time 360 winner, 46 wins, 5-time track champion. And it's just something that was waiting there, hanging in the air, that we needed to do something for Junior, and we get a chance to do that on July 6th.
And $5,200 to win. That's no odd coincidence that the number 52 comes up on when you put that together.
synonymous with Petaluma Speedway, the heavy metal racing number 52. His son, Day carries that proudly on his 360 sprint car to this day. From in 2001, just his most spectacular season that he had at Petaluma Speedway. There was 23 races. He won something like 13 or 14 of them in 2001. Again, a 5-time track champion. And the thing about Junior is he was so well liked because he's just one of those guys, whatever it was that made people, gravitate towards you, Junior had that dripping out of every pore. You wanted to be around the guy. You wanted to see what was going on. He was always having fun. He was always had a Budweiser in his hand after the races, always had time for the fans. And he was just one of us. That's why he was just so beloved down there at Petaluma Speedway. And we finally get a chance to pay tribute again on this July 6th.
And I don't mean to put you on the spot on this. Your favorite memories of Junior?
Probably off the track. I mean, off the track, he was as free-spirited as anybody. I never, in my career behind the microphone, has never got the privilege of calling a David Lint win. It was all prior to when I got into the booth. But that said, through Jeff Ensign and through Dave Lint themselves, I spent plenty of nights over at Jeff's grandma Pam's house with Junior out there, and he was the master of the mayhem. And it's my favorite Dave Lint story was probably New Year's Eve, New Year's night, 2013. We had an enduro car from Petaluma Speedway up on the hill in Sebastopol, and just know that we're all from Sebastopol. We're all from the sticks. We're all rednecks and hillbillies at heart. Mm-hmm. And there's 7 of us. I'm on the cameras. Junior's there sitting out of the back window on the back trunk of a Nova, where we set up a little tiny jump, and you would have thought that it was a Fox News was there to cover it. It was New Year's Eve. We jumped to the Supernova Death Machine. It went a total of about 13 feet in the air, and there were 7 people in there with little to no safety gear. I don't think there were seat belts around, with Junior hanging out the back window, sitting on the trunk with his arms crossed on top of the top of the car as he was in the air. It was pure Junior, and it was pure mayhem is what it was. He was the master of mayhem. That's just one of the stories that I have for Junior. That's the one that pops into my head first and quickly. But yeah, Junior was something special. When he was your friend, he was one of the best friends you ever had. And Junior, I'm glad to have called him friend.
Well, Chase Johnson, last time the NARC 410 Sprint Car Series was at Petaluma Speedway last year, you were victorious, and my goodness, I thought they were going to tear that place down. That place has been special to you over the years and has treated you really well when NARC has came into town.
Yeah, it's definitely one we have highlighted on the schedule at the beginning of the year, especially this year with Petaluma only getting one NARC date. It's a big one. Very excited. It's a big weekend we have for Toyota Marin. You know, they're located about 20 minutes down the road. So to be that close to them, you know, they've got a tremendous amount of people that come out and support us during that night and hang out with us at the races. And it's great to have, you know, everybody there, and employees and family and fans and friends. So it's always a great time when we race Petaluma. It's 10 minutes away from the shop in Pengrove, so the drive doesn't get much better than that. And like I said, you know, it's the support that we have there is amazing. We've got the car on display over at Toyota Marin. It's been there all week. So, you know, people coming in, they can stop by and sit in the race car, see it up close and personal. We also have a little video game set up so you could race the car in the World of Outlaws Xbox video game. So, you know, great fan interaction that we have, trying to build the excitement, a little bit of anticipation for Petaluma with NARC, and then also Toyota Marin. So a great deal that we get to do. It's fun. Busy week, that's for sure. I'll be over there Friday with a meet and greet session as well. So we try to make it good for everybody involved, the racetrack, the series, and also, you know, our great partners. It's fun. But yeah, it's like I said, one we keep highlighted on the schedule. Hope we can win it like we did last year. Like you said, the place was pretty electric when we did, so it's always very cool to win, but obviously win in front of your hometown crowd and the place where you grew up racing is special. So hopefully we can accomplish that again on Saturday. But if not, I know we'll be having a good time, and it'll be great to represent all the great partners we have in Toyota Marin for this special night.
Well, and I think what can't be overstated enough, even though it's one night the NARC goes to Petaluma this year, that Petaloma's racing in general is such an amazing thing, where it was kind of looking a little doomy and gloomy last year.
Yeah, it is. It's great to be back, and especially to have the NARC race turn into the David Lindt Memorial. That's something very cool as well. I feel like this is a perfect fit, honestly, for Petaluma and NARC. David was a great guy. I absolutely loved that guy and looked up to him. He was involved in the first part of my racing career when I first started getting going. I actually got to race with him a little bit, and he always made time to come over and talk to me and give me some pointers, and it was just always a joy and fun time to be around. Always really just made it fun. Always had a great personality, and I really enjoyed my time that we did get to talk and spend together when we were racing together. And then the Lint family is awesome with David's boy, David. So and he's racing. I know he's going to be there too. So it'll be great to see the blue 52 out there. It's pretty iconic there at Petaluma. So it's a great fit. Certainly glad that Petaluma is around to stay. The future is always not certain for all the racetracks that we're at, and Petaluma faces that quite a bit with the location it's in. But we've got a great community around it. We've got great people that want to keep that place going and want to keep it strong and going well. And I tell you what, the Petaluma fans, they love their wing cars. So I expect nothing but an absolute full house on Saturday.
Well, race fans, that does it for this interview. We hope you enjoyed it, and we hope that you continue to enjoy these upcoming interviews. We appreciate it if you would like and subscribe wherever you're listening, whether it's on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, wherever it's at. Give us a like and give us a subscription so that we can deliver more of these great interviews to you for your listening pleasure. In the meantime, wherever we're at, wherever you're listening, we hope you have a great rest of your day and a pleasant evening, and we will see you soon here at Highside Racing Promotions.